Good evening, Los Angeles. Manifold here. I hope everyone's having a great day today. We had the gameplay reveal of Black Ops 7 Zombies a couple hours ago, and there were a lot of things that looked pretty good in the trailer, I can't lie. I think there were a lot of good things in there, but there were also, once the blog post came afterward and had a deeper dive into what was going to be in the game, I think that there's still a lot of things that I have trouble with when it comes to justifying a $70 purchase for this game, you know. But let's start with the pros. Let's talk about what they did really, really well in this trailer and in the blog post and in the upcoming game. And then, of course, we will talk about the negatives afterward. So let's jump right in. The biggest pro that I would say that we got from today was we can play zombies during the beta of Black Ops 7 next week. At the time of making this video, of course, it is September 24th. The beta starts, I think, October 2nd next week, so next Thursday it'll start. And we can play zombies. We can play the survival map. The farm equivalent survival map is what they said. And we'll be able to enjoy it for the early beta. We don't have to wait until November to see and experience more zombies. I think that's fantastic. That's the best change that we got out of today, in my opinion. Next thing, the new map looks great. I mean, you see it in the gameplay here. I think the new map looks fantastic. We see different POIs from the past. We saw Ascension. Looks like Buried was in there as well, right here. No, that's Farm. It looked like there was a Buried-esque area, in my opinion, though. Otherwise, you know, we have Farm. We have Diner. We might have Power Station. I don't know. We'll have to see. There's different POIs that they haven't revealed, so I think that'll be good to see. Next thing, I would say the return of survival maps. I think survival maps are fun. It really helps to break up some of the monotony of playing on a full map. I mean, yeah, you know, it is the same pretty much as just playing on the map over and over again. But I feel like, thankfully, being able to play on survival maps is going to help to, you know, make the grind a little bit better. Instead of just playing on one map, yeah, it's broken down maps, but we can at least play on something different. I feel like that's always a W. And speaking of playing on something different, Dead Ops is back. Dead Ops Arcade 4 is coming back in Black Ops 7 Zombies. I've enjoyed Dead Ops Arcade since Black Ops 1. I really enjoy Dead Ops. And the fact that you're able to level up while playing Dead Ops is an absolute W. I feel like that's going to bring a lot more people to Dead Ops, you know, again, to break up the monotony of playing on the main map. And I definitely plan on trying to beat it. There's 80 levels or rounds in Dead Ops Arcade 4, and I'm so excited to try it out and play it. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. Next biggest W, Cursed or Classic Mode coming back. I think that is phenomenal. That was almost my favorite change, but then when they said that the beta was going to include zombies gameplay, that had to be my best one. But Cursed Mode, I think, is a fantastic change that they're bringing in. And from what they said in the blog post, it looks like Cursed will be unlocked after we complete the main Easter egg. I don't know if that just means each person completing the main Easter egg or the community completing the main Easter egg. I'm guessing that means each person has to complete it individually, which I don't think is a bad thing at all. And you'll be able to play Cursed Mode, which is the classic mode, they said, akin to Black Ops 3. So the point system from Black Ops 3 instead of the new point system we have, no armor, no equipment drops, everything is bare bones. And you're going to be able to equip these relics, like the more you play Cursed Mode and like the more things you unlock, you're going to be able to unlock these things called relics, which makes the game mode harder, but they said you get better rewards, you get more XP. So it's kind of like, I kept equating it to this during my live stream earlier. It's the equivalent of what we saw in Extinction. You could do that back in Extinction, where the more modifiers you have on and the more difficult you make the game, the more XP you get, the more teeth you get. And I think that that's a fantastic change. I think that that's awesome, and I can't wait to see how it's implemented. Next thing on this list, player-specific exfils. So in the blog post, they said that there are these multiple phone booths around the map, and when a player initiates exfil, you are able to jump into the phone booth and it'll, you know, teleport you to the main exfil site. But you can choose whether you want to stay in your game or whether you want to exfil. I think that is an incredible change. You know, sometimes when you're playing with randoms and you don't want to exfil, but they vote to exfil, you're forced to exfil. You know, you have to leave the map. There's nothing you can do. The game just ends. But now, if you don't want to exfil, you can vote no. And if, say, the other 3 players vote yes, they can proceed to the exfil site, exfil, you know, fight, to try to exfil. And in the blog post, it said whether they win or lose, you stay in the game. You stay in the game, but their game ends. I think that is a fantastic change. You know, I think that's incredible. To be able to add more gameplay choice to a player's game, I think just helps the game overall. Next thing, new augments, new map each season, new enemy types. You know, I'm kind of bundling all that into one. A lot of new stuff. We saw new perks. Well, a new perk, sorry. We saw a new perk and new perk augments. Now, apparently from what it said, you're going to be able to equip 1 major and 2 minor augments to each perk, and each perk is getting a new major augment. Definitely go review what those are. You can see them on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, or in the Call of Duty blog post. I would definitely recommend on reading up on some of those. Some of them are really good. Some of them are kind of meh, you know. But I think that's an overall W for content. New map each season, I think, is going to be really good. They did say it's not going to be like a new full-blown round-based map every season, and it might be a new survival map each season, which kind of worries me a little bit, depending on how they are going to go about releasing survival-based content. But still W nonetheless, if they still do follow through with the promise of releasing a new map each season. I think that'll be good, and will only add to the replayability of the game. Another thing on this list that they did say in the blog post, support melee weapons are removed from the box. This doesn't clutter the box rotation, lets you only get guns, and they did say that the higher the rounds go, the more chance you have of getting a wonder weapon. I think that's a fantastic change. It's something that we should have had a long time ago, but fantastic change nonetheless. Last W I have on this list, which I guess, again, I don't know why this wasn't added sooner, but max ammos now refill your equipment as well as your main ammo. I feel like that's an amazing change, amazing quality of life change. I know that equipment wasn't really a problem in games like this because you can just walk up to a crafting bench and buy them with salvage, or you can find them on the ground. But small changes like this, I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it's a fantastic change. That's just my opinion. Now the cons, because of course it's not going to be a Call of Duty video without talking about the cons. My biggest gripe with this game that we've seen so far is why were none of these things added into Black Ops 6? They said that Black Ops 6 was like their most ambitious project yet, and that the zombies they wanted to, you know, like be their biggest zombies yet. And aside from like Dead Ops Arcade and, you know, like the new map, of course I would have wanted new maps, but aside from like those 2 things, why didn't we get classic mode in Black Ops 6? Apparently in the game files, from what Ghost of Hope said on Twitter, is that this has been in the game files for a long time now, especially in Black Ops 6. And the fact that it was removed seemingly from Black Ops 6 to be in Black Ops 7, I think is terrible. Ghost of Hope did also say, Ghost of Hope is a prominent leaker on Twitter, if you guys don't know who that is, but Ghost of Hope did say that he did get source info that a lot of the content in Black Ops 6 was removed to be added into Black Ops 7, and I think that's terrible. I think that's an awful implementation. I think that's terrible. It's just taking no regard, and it's not respecting those of us that paid, you know, $70 or $100 to buy this game. I think that that's a ridiculous marketing scheme to do, and I'm not talking about the devs. You know, I'm talking about Activision here. It's scummy. Why are you like chopping up a full price game that we paid for to put it into another full price game that you are expecting us to pay for? I think that that's ridiculous. It's scumbag tactics, and I think that we need to definitely stand up against that. I really do. Another thing that Codename Pizza and Mr. Ruffle Ruffle said, those are really the only 2 zombies YouTubers that I watch, is that it plays similar to Black Ops 6. They said aside from like the guns and some movement changes that aren't that significant, that it plays almost exactly similar to Black Ops 6. The things that are a negative in my mind do not warrant this being a $70 game. I feel like if this was a $40 added DLC, that'd be fine, but we know Activision, the game is $70 already. I think they already announced that, but nothing in the pros, in my opinion, would outweigh the negatives of this being a $70 game. That's just my opinion. I don't think there was anything that significant that was added that would warrant that price tag. The next thing, leading on from that point, there aren't really that many changes that I said earlier that warrant $70 in my mind. We have one new perk. We had all the same perks from last year. Well, last year we got Melee Macchiato, but we've had 2 new perks added over the last 2 years so far, of course. I'm not saying that we're not going to get any new ones. But there's 1 new perks, 3 new Gobblegum. The rest of them were old Gobblegum from Black Ops 3. Some new augments, for the major augments for the perks. And the game is worth $70. I don't think that those things really warrant a $70 price tag again. And, if they've had all this time to add new things and they've taken content away from Black Ops 6 to put it into this game, and there's really not much, I'm not complaining about the new map. I think the new map looks fantastic. I think Dead Ops Arcade looks fantastic. I think Cursed Mode is probably the single most amazing thing we've gotten in the last few years, aside from, being able to play zombies for the beta. But those changes, in my mind, are not worth $70. They're maybe worth $40, maybe worth $30, but they are not worth $70. And not to mention, you're expected to shell out $70 this year, and then the game will more than likely stop getting support come March, because they might be pulled to help work on Modern Warfare 4. We don't know how far along Infinity Ward is into the development. Yeah, maybe Sledgehammer would be able to help with that, but we don't know how far along they are in the development of Modern Warfare 4. I don't know. I don't think any of this warrants $70, but that's just my opinion. One of the more annoying things that really brings this experience down for me is, again, reused drip-fed content. Now, what do you mean by that, Manifold? I thought everything that was added into the game looked good. Well, from the blog post, they said the Mr. Peaks field upgrade, Tesla Storm, Frost Blast, Lightman, and Shatter Blast are not in the game at launch. The things that we had in Black Ops 6, again, are not going to be in Black Ops 7 right away. They're not going to come, they said, until Season 1 and potentially beyond. Why? Again, we had these things for an entire year last year. We had all of these things. And we had Tesla Storm, Frost Blast, and Shatter Blast in Cold War. So it's not even like those were new things that were implemented last year in Black Ops 6. We have had these things before. And once again, here it is. They're going to bring it, they're going to drip feed it back to us in Season 1 and say, check it out, Frost Blast is back, ooh, new content. And that might be the only thing we get alongside a new map, which I'm not complaining about a new map. I love new maps, but where is the creative thought, when it comes to giving us new things to use? Aside from the guns, we really did not get anything new today, aside from 3 Gobblegum and a new perk and some augments, that might not even matter when we get the full game. We might be using the same major and minor augments that we were using in Black Ops 6 because they worked. And once again, that doesn't warrant $70. We have played with all of these things before, and we're just slowly getting them drip fed back to us. Fireworks is back again from Black Ops 3. Nothing new. Old Gobblegum are back. Power Vacuum. Equipment, which this one it's called Requipment. It's still equipment from Equipment, I think it was called, from Black Ops 3. And, what was the other one? There was another one that was added. Aftertaste. Aftertaste is back. We hardly got any new Gobblegum in Black Ops 6. And it's like, why are we getting these ones back now that are arguably very good? Aftertaste is a great Gobblegum. Power Vacuum is a great Gobblegum. Why were we not given these Gobblegum back in Black Ops 6? You know, I don't know. I just think that the things that we saw today, again, are nothing that we should be busting open our wallets for to like buy this game immediately, in my opinion. Now, overall, I was hyped. I am hyped. You know, I am. I'm excited to try the map or the survival map next week. I'm excited to see where the game is going to go. I'm not going to buy the game. I'm going to play the game for a month, probably on Game Pass Ultimate. I do have a free Game Pass card I'm going to use, and I would recommend you guys do the same. I wouldn't recommend you guys buy this game. $70 I think is too much money in this day and age, especially for a game that might release broken and you know, buggy. And we're just talking about zombies. We're not talking about multiplayer. We're not talking about Warzone. I just think this game is not going to be worth $70. And aside from all the amazing things we saw today, like I said, I would give today blog post trailer like an 8.5 out of 10, maybe even a 9. I think there were so many amazing things shown today, but nothing so amazing that would warrant me spending money on this game. And that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. I'm looking forward to seeing the changes this year. I am staying hesitant though, because just getting burned so hard last year after Black Ops 6, I do not trust Activision and Treyarch to do the right thing and to actually give us an experience that is worth $70 and, you know, our time. But maybe they'll surprise me this year. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate your guys' time. I hope you guys stay hydrated. I hope you guys stay healthy. And I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your day. Take care, everybody.